Hey, I'm Joel Wade. I'm senior producer for The Godfather 2. We're here in beautiful Santa Fe, and we're here to record Robert Duvall, who's going to do Tom Hagen for us, bring his character back from the movie into the game.
I know. It's been very helpful. You have influence, Dominic. Use it. Remember, it's never personal. It's only business. To play Tom Hagen as an actor, you're right on the edge. You're not quite accepted. You know, it's like an adopted son in the family, and so it was like I felt that way as an actor and as a character both. You know, you're a little bit on the outside, but you're accepted on the inside as long as you watch your place and watch your back too.
So how did you prepare for your role in The Godfather and The Godfather 2?
To prepare for my role, I didn't do a lot. I mean, I followed my instincts. The script was good. We rehearsed. And my friend Louis Cosentino, who's no longer with us, told me about a guy that was like a gopher for Tremonti up in the East Harlem, you know, and how he would be his gopher, how he would light his cigarette, how he would wait on him. It was like a Secret Service guy, so to speak. And that story helped me, just that one little story about like a high-level gopher. That's what it was. Seems like a subservient thing, but it's not to be demeaned. You've won. You have to wipe everyone out.
So tell us about being a Don and what you think it takes to make a great Don.
You got to have a lot of balls, and you got to have a lot, I guess, you know, you got to really watch your back. You don't know who's going to really go against you. You have to, I guess, build your own power unit, and hopefully with strings of fidelity to people around you. But you know, you never know. So it's a tenuous position, I think. But you know, it's a position of building power, I would think, and holding on to it as long as you can.
So what did you think of what you saw of the Don's view, sort of that view from above?
Well, the Don's view, I mean, as you say, above the city, looking down on everything, it's the objective kind of perusal of things. I mean, that it makes the player feel like he is the Don. He's in control, and he feels that sense of being it, being the one. Senator, we're putting in a call to your office. Explain that you'll be there tomorrow afternoon. You decided to spend the night at one of our hotels as a guest. It's very interesting and perhaps exciting that a new generation will be introduced to this game of The Godfather, you know. I mean, I thought we could help you.
I didn't do anything.
I know. It is a game and it's a movie, it's fiction, but it's as long as people are entertained by it, then it's a fun thing. Hey, the committee owes this man an apology.
Senator, I move to adjourn this committee.
The committee owes this man an apology.
The witness is now excused.
The movie Godfather 2 is one of the most beloved films of all time. Now the video game sequel faces high expectations and the challenge to translate a great story into a great game.
There's a very intense story in the actual movie, but I'm curious to know how you guys filled in the gaps between what you've put in the game and what was actually in the screenplay.
So what we did is we went back to the source material, we went back to the movie, and we identified all the key scenes that we thought were the most important for recreating an authentic Godfather experience. And what's cool about this game is that it's all authentic to the 1960s. So we really did a great job of recreating the architecture, the style, the cars, and my personal favorite is the music of the era.
Like the fella once said, ain't that a kick in the head?
Now I'm curious, where does the storyline in Godfather 2 pick up from the original?
Well, you start in Cuba, of course, with the meeting of the mobs. And you're actually working as a new character named Dominic, who is actually the underboss of Aldo Trapani, the hero of the first game. Things go terribly wrong in Cuba, the revolution comes. Your first order of business is to get everyone out safely. Unfortunately, Aldo doesn't make it, so Michael gives you a battlefield promotion to take over, start your own family, take back what the Corleones have lost.
I trust that you can run New York, Dominic. Will you do this for me?
The game's a third-person shooter, but I also read that there's going to be some strategy aspects built in. Can you explain a little bit about that?
Yeah, so after the first game, we got a lot of praise for how we handled the sort of hardcore action stuff, the shooting, the fighting, the throwing people around, the black hand combat. But what we didn't feel like we pulled off well was that sense of being the Don. So we're really focusing on keeping that heart of action, but also letting you call the shots from a strategic point of view. So we let you do that by building your own family from the ground up, actually being able to command your troops in battle, and then seeing everything from this thing we call the Don's view, which is all the information in the Don's head. What rackets are out there, what crime rings are being attacked, what the rival families are doing, and what my family's doing.
One of the big hits of Godfather was the black hand combat system where you could kind of intimidate people and beat the crap out of them. How have you guys improved that system?
Yeah, absolutely. The black hand control screen was our most heralded feature, arguably, in Godfather 1. So we knew that was an area we wanted to double down on. Now, what really made the black hand control scheme innovative was the grabbing mechanic. So by squeezing both shoulder buttons together, the left and right respectively, you grab your opponent. Now, while I have my opponent grabbed, my triggers are occupied, right? Because we want this to really feel like as you manhandle the controller.
You're holding them down there, yeah.
Exactly, you're manhandling your opponent on screen. So at this point, the right analog stick becomes your unarmed attacks. And that's where you can throw more devastating blows like headbutts or knees. By using the 6-axis controls, you can swing your controller left or right to swing your opponent left or right.
No way.
Absolutely, and the coolest thing, the most visceral mechanic that we have is the strangle mechanic. So while I'm grabbing my opponent with both shoulder buttons, you literally click in the left and right analog sticks simultaneously. And if you have a dual shock, the controller vibration will simulate the heartbeat.
Oh man,
so
that's brutal!
As the
Dude.
controller is going lifeless in your hands, as is your opponent in your avatar's hands.
Well, the black hand combat sounds like a lot of fun, but it also has a practical application, right? It's not just all about smashing people's faces in for the hell of it.
Indeed it does. You know, eliminating your foes is just one aspect of it. You know, the arguably more important aspect is using it to extort business owners or to take over racket bosses. So each business owner and racket boss has a pressure meter, and there's 2 bars on that meter. There's a breaking point and a boiling point.
Oh.
So first thing I want to do is I want to get a guy past his breaking point, because that's when he starts paying out income to me, weekly income, which is obviously very important to run my empire. However, that greed game kicks in at that point, because the closer I can push him to his boiling point, the more money I can get out of him. So this becomes an extortion game, but there's a very fine line. If I push a guy too far past his boiling point, he'll fight back. And I can't extort from a dead guy, right? So I need to play this extortion game. In one case, there's a diner where the diner's owner's weak spot is pressuring him on his own grill. So I can actually grab his face and pull it up to the grill and hear the sizzle. And it's all to build up pressure. And I don't want to push the guy too far. I just want to push him far enough to let him know that, hey, I mean business, I'm here to extort.
Welcome to our Dev Diaries. I'm Joel Wade, senior producer of the Godfather 2, the game. We're at EA Redwood Shore Studios to show you some of the people and personalities involved in making the game. In our first Dev Diary, we're going to talk to Hunter Smith, who's going to give us a brief overview and concept. Let's go.
So when we finished Godfather 1, we spent a lot of time thinking about what do we do well, what do we need to improve. We did a lot of research, talked to a lot of customers, read all the reviews, read all the blogs, really tried to understand what about this property is going to make a difference. What really stands out? You know, we know we're in the open world action genre, but there's something about being in the mob, being in the world of organized crime that's really unique, and we wanted to focus on that. We looked at those films and we sat and we thought about, man, there's this 3-hour film, and in that time there's about 10 minutes of action and a lot of chin scratching, a lot of thinking about how does this family work against that other family? How does this competition set up? And we thought about how do we bring that into a game? There's lots of disorganized crime going on in all the other open world games, but none of them are organized. None of them have this layer where you get to sit back and think like a Don, make decisions about your family, what you're going to do and how you're going to be successful. And that's what we really think we're bringing to the table to make Godfather 2 stand out from the crowd in the open world genre. So when we thought about this Don experience and how we're going to bring these strategic elements to the game, the best thing to do was to make a card game. So we made a card game with sort of our rule sets to try to keep them as simple and as focused as possible so it's easy to understand. And different people played as each one of the families, just like the families will be playing in the game. And the designer's job was to sit there and sort of predict what people were going to do, but also watch people, see how they reacted, because they don't necessarily make logical decisions. If they're going down the path trying to take up this racket to own this organized crime ring, and you take it away from them, they act emotionally. We wanted to figure out how those emotional actions we can program them into our AI, so they felt as real as possible when you were playing the game. So one of the cool things about Godfather 2 is it's moved up in time into the 60s, and that became a real opportunity for us. The music's cool, the clothing's cool, the cars are cool, the locations become more interesting. And so it was really fun for us to kind of research inside of that space. But what was also really cool about that time was there's a lot of history, and there's actually some declassified information in the last couple of years about what was going on with Castro and Cuba and the Cuban Revolution, and the mob and the CIA. And that's some intrigue we were able to bring inside to deepen our story in Godfather 2. So when we pull all these pieces together, the thing that really drives us and drives players into a game is, what's the fantasy I'm after? We're in the world of organized crime. We got a great action experience with our Black Hand, and we really doubled down on that. But the next layer we brought was really to be the Don, to think intelligently, to make choices about your family, to send your crew in different directions, to have the whole Don view experience we're bringing to the game. The way we summarize all that up, if you want to be successful in Godfather 2, you got to act like a mobster, but you got to think like a Don.
Hope you're as excited about the game as we are. Make sure to check back frequently for future blogs. Also, make sure to check out Game Trailers TV on August 15th, where they have an exclusive deep dive into the game and our first released gameplay footage.